you feel so far?
Great.
Great.
I mean, there's no better word to describe it in excellent, but that just feels a bit too bougie.
Okay. Hey everybody, Carnivore Mark here with my son, Marcus, who is excitedly going to, well, not going to, we started the carnivore diet yesterday. He's very excited to do this. And so we're going to dive into what's going on. So that said, you've been one day on it. How do you feel so far?
Great.
Great.
I mean, there's no better word to describe it in excellent, but that just feels a bit too bougie.
Okay. So let's go ahead and let's dive into the questions, because I'm sure you have some questions like, how does a kid go carnivore? What is going through his mind? How does he plan to keep it up? All those sorts of things. So we're going to go ahead and dive into that right now. So I got a little quick list of questions here. If you have more questions for him, yeah, I plan to have my family continually on this channel from time to time. So this way we just all experience this whole carnivore transformation as a family. It's very cool. So let's start off with what you know about your dad. Okay. So before I started the carnivore journey, how did you see me? What was I like versus after?
So, you were very bedridden and sick, and you didn't really get to spend that much time with your family. You just stayed in bed. You couldn't even get up. You just laid down.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about all I can give from when I've been alive.
And what, how might that have affected you?
I mean, I grew up not really being able to, like, play around with my dad much.
Yeah.
Like the home father.
Yeah. And I felt awful because I wanted to do those things. I wanted to play around with you and, you know, take you to the park a lot and all that kind of stuff. And I just simply wasn't physically able to do it. Okay, how about now?
Now, whenever you can, you're able to just bring us practically anywhere and just have fun.
Yeah, even try to make special trips now whenever I can, right?
Like yesterday, we went to the park to go and do pull-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah, sounds fun. You're able to knock like one or two out?
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm still working on pull-ups too. I think lots of people are. All right, so did seeing my experience with the carnivore diet influence your decision to try it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mostly because when he started going on the carnivore diet, his back was like completely giving out, really sucky. It just wasn't doing good. And now I'm having knee pains and back pains and all sorts of pains everywhere else.
Too young for that stuff. Yeah.
I don't think I should be having those, so I'm like, carnivore diet so I can be a normal functioning human being.
There you go. So how are you, because you started yesterday, so how are you feeling today as compared to yesterday before you started?
Much more energized, like I want to do stuff. Yesterday, when I was just starting out, I was like, I don't want to be alive.
Not in a serious sense, but
Not
like
in a
it's just,
serious, yeah, just in,
you're having a rough time.
yeah, very rough time to just stay on. I almost ate candy. I brought it out to the couch. And I told myself, what am I holding?
Yeah, and I'll also point out that normally on a Sunday morning, because it's Sunday morning, happy Sunday, normally on a Sunday morning you are knocked out with your brother, your mom, you're all knocked out because you don't have to be at the church as early as I do. But today you're like, hey, I'm up. Can I go to church with you, Dad? So you and I are going together, and then your mom and your brother are going to come later. So you already have a bit more energy than you did have before. So very cool. Let's see. What did you think about your first meal back on Carnivore? Because you tried this before for like about a week and a half. So getting back on, how'd you feel about your first meal?
Uh, very similar to what I first had on the carnivore diet, because I had steak and I had eggs, just not in the form it was, like hard-boiled egg and some steak.
Mm.
And then I would just live off of steak and hard-boiled eggs, but not enough to keep me going.
By the way, everyone, I'm sorry about the shaking. I don't have a gimbal. I should really invest in one. So this is all lactic acid buildup in my arm while I'm holding the camera. But yeah. So, and then, but yesterday I made you a steak omelet, right?
Yeah.
So that was fun. Let's see, what made you the most excited to try the carnivore diet?
Probably muscles.
Muscles.
Muscular strength, and the fact that by eating so much protein, you can just practically do anything as long as you work out. Working out is part of it.
So you're going to get a bunch of protein on this diet. That's absolutely true. Also, we're not going to neglect the fats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you think your friends are going to react when they find out that you're on carnivore?
They're going to be like, oh, high cholesterol, you're going to kill yourself. Oh my gosh.
Are they going to do or say anything else? What do you think?
I mean, eventually they're just going to be like, okay, it's your body, you do you.
Are they going to try to shove food in your face that is not carnivore?
Probably as a joke, like what I was doing to you.
Yeah.
Like, you want a cupcake?
Like what, last week?
Yeah. Actually, probably yesterday.
So, yeah, so what do you think is going to be your reaction to their reaction to you being a carnivore?
Probably tell them that high cholesterol isn't the problem. It's low cholesterol that's the problem.
Yeah.
Also, high fat and low fat, there's a difference. And there's a pretty serious difference.
Yeah. So he's been listening, right? What do you think is going to be the most challenging part of sticking with this way of eating?
Looking at everything else, like there's a pizza place right across the street. There's like Hong Kong diner right down the street. It's all sorts of sugary foods and breaded foods that's just difficult to stay away from. I'm gonna have trouble with. And then whenever I go on a trip with my friends and stuff like that, they're always eating bagels and pizza and salads. That pizza is, fun fact, the thing that has taken me off of carnivore every time I've tried it. Every time I go to a friend's house and pizza. The New Year's Eve, I was trying to stay on carnivore, but I hadn't eaten enough. Guess who's here? Pizza.
So we'll try to make some more carnivore pizza to help you with this transition. All right. And then we also talked about something else that we're going to do to help you avoid like the extra cravings and being tempted and stuff like that. What is that?
Why am I? Oh, right. Overeating.
Yeah. I'm just going to stuff you, right? So you get all that nutrition, and then because you kind of dealt with that yesterday. Because we went to a Touch a Truck event where they have police cars and fire trucks and dump trucks and all kinds of things where the kids get to get on and honk the horns and do all these things. They have food there. And what did you say about the food that was there?
I don't want it.
Yeah, last year.
I look at it and I'm like, eh.
Actually, it was this time last year
Yeah.
that you were trying carnivore. And you're like, I can't do it. I got to have the pizza that's there. And this year you're like, yeah, Dad, I really don't want it.
Again, pizza.
Yeah. What was your initial reaction Interesting. When you learned what the carnivore diet involves.
Probably what I said my friends' reactions would be, oh my god, you are going to kill yourself. Don't do this.
How do you plan to handle situations where others are eating different foods around you?
Well, because I know from my first full week of carnivore, I know that eating overstuffing yourself will make it so you don't want the foods that they're eating. So that'll keep you away from that kinds of food. Like pizza, obviously, and candy and cakes and all of those social event kinds of stuff. Because I don't want to eat those. And I'm sure a lot of carnivores also don't want to eat those. It's just annoying to be around them because when you're first starting out, you're going to be wanting to eat them, but you know you shouldn't.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest difference in our family since I started the carnivore diet?
Well, you've become the breadwinner again, first of all. You're definitely home less, but that's because you have too much energy. So you have to take on multiple jobs so you can get rid of all that energy, and by the time you come home, you're passed out.
Yeah, so a little overproductive. I'm going to be dialing that back for sure.
Please.
So, yeah, we're going to do that. All right, kiddo.
Okay.
All right. And how do you feel about us both being on the carnivore diet now?
Well, it's definitely going to make trips more cost effective, because despite the price tag on meat, it's more bang for your buck, seeing as you can purchase a whole cow and have food for weeks versus you can buy a bunch of vegetables and have food for a day. And both of those price tags are both around $100 or so. But you're going to have to purchase more and more vegetables on a vegan diet and all of those diets versus making maybe $700 for the week versus a cow, which is at most going to be about $200 for the week and maybe a little bit more, making it all the more cost effective.
Okay, we're going to go over the numbers. We will. But yeah, sometimes it's like some part or even cheaper being carnivore. But you also don't have to eat as much, right?
Yeah. Which makes it even more cost effective.
Yeah. So why don't we have to eat as much as carnivores?
Oh, I'm blanking.
So we don't have to eat as much as carnivores because when we get all of our nutrition from these slabs of meat that we're enjoying, once we are satiated, once we are full, our body gets to sit with that. Then what happens with, say, the veg and the snacks and the other things on a non-carnivore way of eating, it kind of temporarily fills you physically, but it doesn't satisfy your nutritional requirements that your body needs. So then what happens is your body wants nutrition. So it's seeking that, and it's going to look for more. So it's going to make you hungry, and you're going to want to snack more, and then you snack more, and then you're still not quite satisfied because you're still not getting that nutrition that you need. So then what happens is you snack more and you eat more. And this is how I gained all that weight, which I finally lost. And this is how so many other people do as well. This is how we get sick, because now we're pumping those non-foods into our bodies that are making us sick and miserable and joints hurting and aches and pains. And I mean, you're 11. You shouldn't be experiencing all those aches and pains. Like, you know, a stereotypical 80-year-old man with a walker, right?
I used to tell my friends I'm an 80-year-old. I'm a 10-year-old on the outside and an 80-year-old man on the inside.
All right. So what do you think on the carnivore diet? Is that going to change?
Yeah, the 11-year-old on the outside, 11-year-old on the inside, maybe
Right.
even younger.
So we're going to wrap this up, but real quick, what differences did you notice the last time you were on Carnivore? What positive results did you see, even though it was 2 weeks?
So I saw myself really having much more energy. I was having muscle growth, wasn't having any body pains and aches and just in general pain. But I was having a tough time to stay on it because all of the temptation during December and stuff like that.
Yeah,
There's
okay, all the holidays back to back.
yeah, and then
we
my brother
didn't know
got sick.
about they got sick. And then we didn't really know about priming or understand priming too much. Now we know. So now we're going to be priming to get you started. So in this way, just like yesterday, you won't even be tempted to go after the other stuff. All right. So that said, we've got a bus to catch pretty soon. So that's why I keep looking over my shoulder to make sure we don't miss it. And it's going to take us to the church. But yeah, let's go ahead and throw it out there. 30-day challenge. If you're interested in the carnivore diet, you haven't tried it out, go ahead, give it 30 days. It's going to give you a little bit of transition time. Real quick, if you had to give one piece of advice to somebody who's interested in starting, what would that be?
So overstuff yourself. Stay as far, like 6 feet. Quarantine yourself.
Social distancing.
From all of the rest of the food. Stay as close to meat, butter, and salt. Maybe a little bit of cheese in there, and eggs. Stay as close to those as possible. And as far as from the sugar and processed foods as you can. Because remember, those are what are getting you, not the high cholesterol, not the high fats.
Yeah, solid advice. So give it a shot. Give it 30 days. And if you have any questions for Marcus Jr. here, let's go ahead and ask him in the comments. Be more than happy to hear from you, and I will share those comments with him. So, guys, God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and happy carnivore.